All right. All right,
Here
guys.
we
There we
go, guys.
go. Yeah, dude. So what we want to do, I think did I build a market guide for you, Bill, before? I think I built like a
It's
PDF for
been a
you.
while though, so it might be dated.
Well, let me just, even though I'll send you the one for one of the other places, even though you're not probably doing Cuyahoga or Harris County, Texas, I'll send it to you. What you want to do is input it into your prompt bar. And I
Yeah,
can show you how to do that tonight, and then ask it to duplicate that, but for the counties and zip codes you choose, and it'll do it instantly. It'll make you a new,
awesome.
yeah, dude, so you don't have to, yeah. So it's kind of cool. I can actually
And
show you.
then I'm assuming the buy box is good enough. I mean, I don't know what your buy box is for that
That's
one, but
what we're working on
No,
tonight
no,
is
it's
the
what
buy
about buy
box.
box. Man, your buy box is yours. It's not like anything to do with we. Let me actually show you guys real quick something on that.
okay. And
Yeah,
just so you know, Nate, you might have to repeat with me. There's some stuff that retained and some
I
that didn't.
know, and I got Fred and Rod on now too, so I'm sure everybody's kind of at the same boat. And a lot of people will be kind of wondering tonight, like RCIC systems and all that. Once you guys are on there, I mean, Kevin just started playing with the admin side today, and I just talked to Jesse, and he started playing with the admin side, and it's amazing. And I was thinking people were gonna have to get another like subscription to Claude. They're not even gonna have to do that now. So it just keeps the one for GPT, and then you guys all have like lifetime access. So you basically can go in and we issue you guys like your own code. You go in and set up your own access, and you have lifetime. You don't have to ever worry about it again. So when you guys go into RCIC systems and you see the pricing, I mean, you see on the website, you guys don't have to worry about that. You already pay, so it's pretty cool. You guys get all the benefits of everything that's on everything through the lifetime plan that's on there. So let me pull it up real quick after I get a couple of guys. I just
yeah.
want to
Get
acknowledge a
started
couple
with
of them.
that because these guys can go ahead and jump in. I mean, there's no reason why they can't start inputting their stuff.
Yeah. So James, Rod, and Fred, hey guys, what's going on?
Hey,
Uh,
James,
yeah,
the
just
day's arrived.
Hey, give me a second. Let me put you guys on Bluetooth.
okay. Yeah, and then we're gonna try to open up because we got like 5 or 6 people up, and I want to go over some stuff. And then James, tomorrow night, I want to see. Did you want to find a commercial deal you wanted to work on, or did you want me to pick one and just run one tomorrow? Because we're gonna do it tomorrow night on the commercial deal we talked about.
Um, Whatever you want to do. I just want to see how it works. You know what I mean?
Okay,
If you want
yeah.
to, yeah,
Well,
run
we
a
might have
search
just
and
one
pull.
more we just did last week that we did it. We did it. Kevin and I did one on one that somebody like a storage, and it came up with like this is not a good deal, and it kind of, but it really was pretty involved with what it showed. And
Okay,
I
that's
put it on
fine.
there, so it's kind of
But
cool.
yet the people that were promoting it are like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And some of them were supposed to be professional real estate investors.
Yeah, one of
We
them was trying to join our group for a while.
won't tell them who that is, though, mate. We can't do that. That would spoil the surprise.
Okay, yeah, cool. Hey, just checking. Let me check in with Rod and Fred too. Hey, Rod, what's going on? How are you?
Doing good, doing good. How about you?
Good, man. So yeah, pay attention tomorrow. So like I said, you and your wife and all the people in Michigan. So if you guys go see the website, rcicsystems.com, tomorrow we have all the logins and we built that. So we'll get them to you guys. There's a unique
Okay.
code. Kevin and and Jesse and I are figuring out tomorrow how to get it to you guys. So because there's an admin thing, we give you an admin thing. It's not even part of that website, but it accesses the website. You guys go get a unique number, and then you go in and set up your access, and it's
Okay.
phenomenal.
The
So
dashboard.
yeah, so you
Okay.
guys
What
get
everybody's calling it now, the dashboard.
yeah. So that'll be tomorrow, and then you guys keep the GPT. The best news is, I was a couple weeks ago. I was thinking we might have to get like a cloud subscription too. Nope, don't have to do it. It's awesome. So you guys just keep your GPT, build everything in your GPT, keep going. But now you've got like your own system. It's like your own interstate highway. And you guys can look at the pricing that's on the RCICsystems.com website and go, you don't have to worry about that. You guys get everything for life that you guys already paid for. That package is like $3,500 to anybody outside. And then there's $399 or 19, there's different amounts for monthly and annual. So all you guys also will be setting up an affiliate program sometime in the next month or so as well. We
Yeah,
can,
if you guys bring anybody in, you're going to get a chunk of whatever that is.
yeah,
So if you have that set up and be able to tie it in with your activities on the AI, because we're just kind of getting that's how we're getting our setup. It should go really smooth. It should run itself, and then you're going to have a producing affiliate program without having to put a lot of effort into that.
Yeah, and I think on the lifetime we'll probably pay out like $500 per on the $3,500. I don't know what we'll do on the $100 because there's a light plan. What I may do is end up if people bring me somebody like that does like a monthly or something like that. I'll build an app or something for you guys, and you can host it on Netlify. Everybody should look at netlify.com, netlify.com, and just get because you probably nobody here. I have obviously with what I'm doing, I have to get the paid account, which is only like $9 or $20 a month. But the free version of Netlify is awesome. You can host an app, and we can build. I'm talking about building like custom apps for everybody. Like I can host them on my Netlify and all that or I can give them to you guys. We can build a custom app for whatever, your business, and then it's pretty cool what you can do with it. So let me real quick show you, something off of what, I want to show you guys something really cool off of, because obviously the GPTs and all that are still our bread and butter, but let's bring up something in core because I know everybody here probably could use it. When you guys go to core, let me make sure you guys are able to see this real quick. Let me have to move
Yeah,
it.
this is the meat and potatoes that ties everything together, is this core thing. So
Yeah,
keep track of what you're doing here, because anything that's built out of this is what it's going to do, and you may have to go back to core to correct anything. So
keep in mind you guys want to go to like the ones you want to use. Like I'm probably going to change the start here and put something else. These are called conversation starters. These buttons. The build by distress to deal playbook is also good. You guys want that's kind of like a fast track. RCIC mode, as you guys want to go in there and it can ask, it'll walk you through the modes. You want to change to like learning mode or resident mode or wholesaling mode. Learning mode is awesome. You can go into learning mode and ask it to do anything, any subject, anytime, no matter what. If you want to learn about, how to set up raising capital under section, 506D, 506 under regulation D 506C. It'll teach you how to raise capital and all that stuff. It'll teach you anything. But what we're going to talk about tonight, guys, when you first get in here, is set up or update my BuyBox. And I know this is something a lot of people have asked me about. I'll show you guys in projects in a second. We kind of showed this last week. You guys, BuyBox is, you want to be really spend some time on it. This is what it's suggesting on the BuyBox. And it's basically, obviously you guys can add stuff to it, but you guys know what it is. It's in everybody's BuyBox. All three of you around here tonight can have a completely different BuyBoxes, even if you're doing the same asset class and strategy. If you're doing, flips, it's going to be the same, but you guys are all different. Obviously, you want to put your name and your handle, what markets you're in. Are you in, Cuyahoga County, Ohio? What counties and zip codes? What the asset types? What your strategy, your price range, your equity discount requirements, what you're looking for equity. If you're going to try to go out, get some properties that have equity already in them, condition tolerance, what you like for light, medium, heavy rehab, scrape, cosmetic, you tell it what you want. Your timeline, can you act right now? 3 months, what are you looking for a timeline? Your capital position, and then any notes. And so it's going to walk you through the field guides here, and it's going to the same thing here. It's going to start defining it a little bit more. So you just move down, define a little bit more. And then you got the quick example, right? So it's going to have like an example here. It says my counties in Denver and stuff. And it walks you through there. So what you guys want to do, and what I was telling you earlier, Bill, on yours when you asked about, now you don't need to change your BuyBox if you guys are just adding markets. But for anybody that needs to set up their markets, you guys would go in and just like copy and paste, here, go down to the box down here and just copy and paste in the box. Now, be careful, don't hit enter. Just, it's kind of but it's only going to take you 10 to 15 minutes. So you just got to go do line by line. You have it right here to remind you, like kind of a reminder, just keep it right here and fill this out. But before you press send, after you fill it out, copy and paste it again, set send, because I'm going to show you guys what you want to do then next is you want to come back over to projects, and that's where you guys would want to start setting up projects. So you see in my project, I have BuyBox. So now I'd come over here and I just paste my BuyBox in there. So you've got it there. You're telling the AI what you're doing. Over here, you're building it. You're building it kind of manually. And it seems redundant but there's a reason, is that over here, you're going to start running all your projects. And you want to run everything in projects. And you want to try to get them in order. So if you guys see what my BuyBox is here, I got BuyBox. You got the ARV valuation, rehab and scope of work, the tool we call market reality assessment, which is kind of cool, deal analysis tools, and then you get your market guides. We'll talk about that in a minute. You want to try to set up those projects, and all you got to do is go set up the project, move to the next one. You don't have to start working it yet. But what happens is when you guys get all your deals, is you come up and you have your buy box and you start like adding that deal. So let's say you add an NED and a foreclosure filing or something. You add it. You start processing it down through these projects. You go from buy box down to your deal analysis tools to your skip tracing, all the different tools. What it's doing, even though it seems redundant, is actually retaining the information and it's building it. You're training it. So think about you're training your employee. So it's kind of cool that way. So keep that in mind. So anything you do over there, just immediately come right over here and build have a buy box as a project, and then start all your projects. Like I said, deal analysis. You'll have your
Real quick, Nate, is there a way to save multiple buy boxes, like a ton of them? Okay,
no,
got it. That's all I need to know. Yeah.
Yeah, you can have a buy box, just name it what you want. Put buy box, what are you doing? Are you wholesaling?
Like you're saying, you take everything that you build and you go ahead and take a picture, basically find a way of copying it, and then you paste it into an auxiliary file on your system, so that you could just pull these up, hit it,
multiple
and
projects.
you're good to go. That's basically all you want you to do.
Yeah,
okay, got it.
Yeah, and it's basically building your whole system in your projects, because projects is where you retain information. You guys know you have projects and you have chats. Chats don't retain information. And I actually learned that the hard way. If you guys ever talked to Curtis, him and a few other people, I think Amanda just come on, when I started really going heavy into projects. Projects is where everything happens. So you guys want to use projects as much as possible. And I just try to put them one after another. If you guys need the prompts, the skip tracing war room prompt, that's in the RCIC Facebook group, but I can send that to you. There's also what we call 12 chains, which is a prompt pack. I have like those prompt packs in that Facebook group. They are in the associates group, but if you guys ever go to that files tab, it's like Kevin can tell you, it's like good luck. I've been posting stuff there for 5-6 years, so there's probably 300 things. The RCIC group is a lot cleaner than the Facebook group. But files tab, there is where you're going to find a lot of these prompt packs. And so you'd want to go find like the skip tracing war room prompt, and you'd want to bring it, go to that project and put it in there. Just put that as your first prompt in there, and then basically move on, go to set up the next project. And then you got them for future use. So here you want to put your buy box, and you want to have, whatever yours is. And then you start building chats down, so you get, this property listed, this NED filing, which is pretty cool. And you can go through the process really pretty cool, actually. Let me see one real quick if I can.
You ready to get that?
Yeah. So the other one I'm going to talk about tonight a little bit. Let me get into Thursday's Zoom. So everybody's going to want to go to, this is actually what we're doing. We're kind of doing tonight how to set up all your tools. So you guys want to set up, obviously your all your deal analysis tools. The order you're going to want to go in is going to be really pulling your comps. And a lot of times you guys know, if you guys are starting to use agents, and I'll go over that a little bit tonight, when you guys deploy your agents, which you deploy from your prompt bar, you guys see the plus, and you guys go down here and under more, there's agent mode. And this is where you guys will deploy your agents modes. I'll show that in a minute. So we'll come back to that. But what you guys want to do is if you have you're only working 5 counties, remember you get 40 agents a month. It'll tell you, there's a little counter that'll pop up when you send out agents. There'll be like a little pop up, hey, you got 37 agents. You get your next batch of 40 on, and I have not seen whether, if you have 27 agents selected in a month, I don't think you get 67. You get 40 a month. So once you deploy them, they just give you 40. So you use them. And the reason I say use them, let's say you got 5 counties, you go out and have those 5 agents go out to those 5 counties and hit those counties, those AHJs, those probate courts, those county clerks, trustees, get your properties, get the distress intelligence, use another 5 agents to follow those. So you have 2 agents now going to each of those counties, use that next one for comps. And then also you can actually go to those counties people, here's a big thing that a lot of people miss, and a lot of the prep tech companies, and you guys probably see me posting about it. They don't tell you that you guys all know this. So everybody here has at least some experience or a lot of experience. So you guys know that if they're being foreclosed on or any kind of situation that involves, legal filings, that paperwork's going to be on file in that county or that jurisdiction, and it's going to have the process servers going to have their information on there because they gotta, if they mailed it, they gotta sign for it, wherever it's mailed to. They've got to have their information, their contact information, phone number, email, stuff like that. The sheriff would have that if the sheriff in your county or jurisdiction is serving these. In some cases, they have a choice. Where I live, they have a choice. Mortgage company can have a process server do it, that they choose, they select that most of them have one for the law firm that works for them, or they can have the sheriff do it. Either way, you're going to have that paperwork returned, and that's going to have the contact information, the email address, and the phone number. Guess what? You don't have to skip trace. It's awesome. You can just pull that information in right from the AHJ, right from that county. And you don't have to do that. But if you need to skip trace, we got the skip tracing war room prompt. So one of your projects should be a skip tracing project. All it is skip tracing. The next one will be the market reality assessment. There's a prompt in there in the files for that. Market reality assessment allows you to basically, you can start two different ways. You can start at the whole county or the zip code. So if you're in a zip code, because most counties have multiple zip codes, if you go and pull a zip code, you can go, then you work your way down. You go to the next, this 4 major streets, northwest, south, and east, all the 4 streets. Then you go to 4 streets again that are more around the property. And then you go to the right to the property. It's going to bring up all that information. It's going to look at why there's $1 million homes here, there's $500,000 homes here. It's going to tell you what's going on in that zip code, what's going on in that area. Market reality assessment, it's going to tell you what's going on, walkability, shopping, schools, employment, things like that. If you guys were on it's probably a month, probably, I don't know, maybe first part of March. I did one on my grandparents' house in Denver, their old house that they sold in 2004. They remodeled it twice. It was pretty fascinating when we did the market reality assessment on that, because it basically it taught, I knew the streets obviously from being my grandparents' house. I could walk around in their house until they remodeled it. I could walk around their house in pitch black and know where I was going. But the neighborhood is the same way, and it's still there now. So you can actually take a look at the neighborhood, the subdivision, and all that. It gives you all that market information that sometimes you guys see realtors have. So think about that market reality assessment. Then you want to get into your rehab and scope of work, and then you want to get it obviously via your ARV, and then you've got all the systems done. It's all ready to go to Capital Passport. We're going to cover Capital Passport and all the capital stuff and lenders and funding in May. We're going to go deep dive like we've been doing the last couple of weeks on getting everybody set up on BuyBox. But RCIC systems takes everything to a whole new level. We're going to go over that tomorrow night. If anybody can't make it, of course, I'll have the recording for you guys on Friday. But so that's kind of what you guys want to look at, is you want to set up your BuyBox and your tools and the market selection. It's kind of cool that way. You get into core tools, it's pretty awesome. Get into agent deploying. So what I'm going to do real quick, let me
I have them to throw an address at you.
Well, give me a second.
Do you have to have an address, or can you just plug in, I want you to analyze this county?
Well, you can have
do both.
You can start with an address.
You can do both.
Yeah, you can do both.
But how do you run the BuyBox against a county?
You put in
the
your
BuyBox works the county records.
Yeah.
Instantly. So there is no lag. You're not pulling something off of somebody else's list or any of that kind of stuff. As they're filed, it picks it up. So you're basically real time on the county information as it is. And then it takes that information, takes it to the next step, fills out I'm kind of interested. Would you take this, or can I take a look? All that's automatic. So these people that actually have the real address or where these people really are, okay, it sends it there first thing.
No, I understand.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's all automatic. So it doesn't matter whether you're looking at a single address or a whole bunch of addresses. It'll do the same thing.
Okay, but I'm trying to get it to actually run. That's what I'm doing something wrong.
And I'm trying to show you that right now. Let me see.
Go back to RCIC because more than likely that's where you're setting because that's the one the RCIC is the one that mechanically makes this thing work. And if you're making a mistake, it's probably back in that area somewhere. Nate can take you through it. He'll find out where it's at.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to show you guys right now. And I'm showing you, I mean, bringing Colorado just because I can go through this process pretty quick and show you guys some things on here. Obviously, you guys want to do a thing when we do the market, and anybody needs a market guide, let me know. I'll send you one. I'll actually show you. I can send you one. You can just say copy and paste it for your market.
I see it. Start with your buy box, copy and paste it here. So I had set up my buy box. Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, whenever you have something that doesn't make any sense, like you just found, go back to your RCIC and look at your layout and see what you're telling it and when you're telling it to do it. Okay, that might have something to do with it as well, not just what. And see if that's where it doesn't make any sense. Okay, because more than likely that's where the entries went a little skewed. And
I wasn't in the RCIC core.
Where you start.
Yep.
You start there and you work your way out until you find your mistake.
So you guys
and you'll know it when you see it. That's the other thing. Okay. Why did I do that? There's be a spelling error, some kind of stupid crap. That's how it works.
So a lot of times, like this is Jefferson County where I live. So this is obviously they just, the new NEDs are out. Notice election demand. And those market guides that help you guys develop, or you guys want a market guide like a PDF, Cuyahoga County, Ohio, or wherever it is, Wayne County, Michigan, things like that. You guys can build one. It'll actually give you all the little off ramps. Like I just went through an off ramp, which is like a link. So think about being on an interstate highway. So now I'm going to pull up on April 23rd. Let me do this thing because it's kind of goofy just to make sure I can I get you right there so you guys can see it. So you guys may have this as a whole list, right? This has multiple foreclosures in my county. And I'm showing you this because I can rapidly enter this. Watch this. So you guys look at these kind of documents, they'll have a foreclosure number. Every jurisdiction is going to have some variation of this, whether it's judicial, non-judicial, even less pendants in non-judicial state. But everything's going to have foreclosure numbers. It's going to have the date of when the NED was filed. This is April 23rd, so this was last week. Original sale date, it's in August is when this thing will be sold. When the deed of trust was, it's going to have the reception number, all the information. Your county, your jurisdiction will have something similar. Because I can tell you what, it's hard to teach the jurisdiction to jurisdiction because just in my area, everybody knows what Boulder, Colorado is. University of Colorado's are. Right next door is Broomfield County, Colorado. Boulder is very sophisticated. You can get a lot of information. You can have the next county over can suck. And then Bloomfield County's case, it's kind of like Mayberry. We call it like a Mayberry County. You expect, they put everything together, or it's very archaic. There's no system to it. Keep in mind also it can vary vendor to vendor. One county can use one vendor, one county can use a different vendor. So what I do on these is a lot of times I will go ahead and save it. And I'm obviously going to save this NED. And then what I'm going to do is on-ramp. And so I talked about off-ramp is like the links. Now I'm going to on-ramp just right back to my RCIC on my GPT. And now I'm going to come back and I'll go ahead and I got to just do this share thing because it's kind of a pain. Just make sure you guys can see it. So now you guys go and see right now. So now I've got that NED that I just pulled, that I just saved. So I'm going to go and enter this. This is a NED I just saved. Can you run it and advise on which
results
3 are ideal opportunities and actionable? And this is pretty cool.
Yeah, keep in mind when he says actionable, everything that you put in there want to do and can do is what it compares against, not what somebody else or anybody else or anything else, but specifically what because it gets to know who you are during all this process over about 4 to 6 weeks. It can anticipate exactly what you're looking for. That's what's the beauty of this thing. It may not be completely perfect when you start, the closest to it that you get, the better off it's going to be. But it doesn't take very long for this thing to get up to 90, 95% accuracy in what you want to accomplish, and day in and day out. So there's no ambiguity here. You know you're going to make money on this because you set it up to make money. And if you're just going to do it 9 times out of 10, I don't think you're going to complain. That's basically what this thing gets down to. And the more you want to get into, if you want to learn or get into another realm or different style or something else involving real estate or anywhere in the industry, this thing will do the same thing. It'll show you what you need to do. It'll tell you what you have to do. It'll tell you to take you to the people you need to be with, whatever the hell you need to do. That's how accurate this thing is. And it's based on your RCIC inputs.
Yeah, you go to learning mode. It'll teach you anything. It'll help you set up anything in it. And that learning mode is one of those first four conversation starters. It's in the RCIC's core screen. We have the 6 other GPTs. I'm really focused right now on getting core set up. Everybody else, you can get all the other 6 ones as well, and I'll explain that in another session. But guys, this one just recommended off of that NED 3. So Bill and everybody else, when you have your BuyBox and you spend some time on your BuyBox and you get it dialed in, enter it through where it tells you in that conversation starter, but also, like I said, set up a project with your BuyBox. You'll start entering these, you can put a single property, you can put a list like I just did. This is recommending me. I asked it for 3. If you got like 80, Colorado Springs, the county where it's at in Colorado, had 84 foreclosure filings in November. You put them in there, you could ask for the top 10, and it'll actually rank these. And it gives you there's 9 total files, all filed on April 23rd. They come out every week. So I could go and pull up, I could actually go, and there's another way I can go and I could search like from the April 1st to yesterday. I could go put the whole list in and it'll come up with a lot more. So I go in here and here it is. It's going to read out it's going to rank it. It's going to give me the property. It's going to give me why it stands out. Strongest apparent equity spread. And it does look at Redfin, Zillow, Realtor, everything that we always tell people it'll suck. But you're getting them all in one place. You're able to, instead of having to search them individually and take time, you can do
unbiased, emotion-free assessment of what you asked it to do and what you were looking for. The closest available to what you were looking for in number 1 position, the least number 10 position. But they're all going to be ones that you're going to want to do. And the other thing is, when you get this thing set up and completely running, it'll take you to the point of the electronic signature on the deal itself. Well, that's how crazy this thing is.
Here's the thing. If you guys look at this one on 638 South Swadley Street, which is in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, has a foreclosure amount of $99,500. It says it's either a massive equity or it's a junior lien trap. Then it has Academy Bank, which you guys don't know what Academy Bank is. Since there are a lot of them are in Walmart, and so they kind of are pretty much people with horrible credit can get a bank account there. But it says it's a beneficiary of the low balance. It makes me suspect this may not be senior mortgage. So I'd like to have this information now. It's cool. And then you get this one on Oak Street. So you can run these up and it'll make recommendations and it'll make exit strategies. And you guys can make these changes at any time. You can go in and just tell it, hey, this is, because your BuyBox, you're telling it what you want. When your BuyBox, you're telling it you want an equity spread or you want this. You go in and spend some time. It says the time box. Everything gives you a time box. That means how long it expects you to take for you to build it. But go ahead and spend a lot of extra time on your BuyBox and your markets. Dial those in. Remember, you can change it on the fly at 2:00 in the morning. Something you need a bid or you want some more. Maybe you're looking to get a few more opportunities, or you're looking for less. All of a sudden you're getting a lot of stuff. Dial it in. You do it on your own at your own time, anytime you want. You don't even need me. You can go in and just do it on the fly, and you guys can just go change your BuyBox at any time. And it's you just go right to the BuyBox thing and let it know, hey, I'm changing my BuyBox, or I'm adding another county, or I'm subtracting a county, or can you go in this county and subtract this zip code? Because actually it'll tell me, like in El Paso, Colorado, Colorado Springs, there's 2 counties, 2 zip codes right next to each other. There's a whole area on the east side of Colorado Springs, above where Peterson Air Force Base is, kind of on the east side, Air Force Academy and Fort Carson on the west side of the Colorado Springs there. Peterson Air Force Base and Schriever Air Force Base on the east side, where the Colorado Springs Airport is. There's some newer, more tracked, more modern there's a lot more foreclosures there, right? Because obviously a lot of people come and go. Whereas in the zip code just to the west of it's an older established neighborhood where people have lived, maybe a lot of legacy, a lot of families have left. A lot of the homes are paid off, or they, if they've got loans or HELOCs or home, their home improvement, things like that. So it actually knows the difference. It'll tell you in different counties, it'll tell you what's going on in different situations. Like, and I'll show you guys an example of that. So if I go down here, I get 10 of these a week, 10 reports. I use 10 of my agents trying to help you guys out. I could dial them even more if I was specifically trying to go after certain properties. These are mostly test ones though, but I get these and you guys can set these up. And what I recommend everybody does, even if you using Go High Level or something, you guys will look in the agents. It's separate from agent mode that I just showed you in the prompt bar, but there's agents in the sidebar up here. And you guys can go pull an agent right here, or you can pull apps. Go to apps and click on apps, and you guys can add Gmail. Add Gmail, set up a free Gmail account outside. So you get your login and your password, come back, go to apps. You'll find Gmail, hit Gmail, set it up. You can actually direct your agents to send all the information to that Gmail address. And you kind of use it as a storage. Anything physical, like if you're saving PDFs and Word and all that, Word documents, set up just a free Dropbox because it'll connect you to Dropbox. It's like having a CRM, and you guys don't really have to even pay for it. Just start putting a lot of your stuff there. Dropbox, and Gmail is going to be there because it's Google. People can go high level. If you really want to automate it, you could get Airtable, get the free version. Nobody really even needs the paid version. Watch some videos on YouTube how to build it, but you really don't need an Airtable anymore. So going down to the report, I'm kind of was going to show you guys. I get one for the top 25. I get foreclosure opportunities. I have one that says nationwide data gaps. What I'm talking about with you guys is I'm trying to monitor. I put in before you guys probably even knew who I was. Back last summer, I put in 50 properties. 50 markets like Atlanta, Boston, those kind of like cities. And then I put in zip codes, 6,513 zip codes. Obviously, I'm not getting because there's no way nobody has enough agents. We don't have enough agents combined to do that. Maybe we get 250, 500 people, 1,000 people in it. We can do that. But it does give me a lot of good information. So I'm going to pull up a couple of these. Let me see if I've got let me pull up one of these. And it does take a minute for it to populate because it's so it sends a thing to my email, like my other email account that I have for it. I click on it, it opens a chat for me, and it sends me this information. Okay, this one is this is good. And you'll get this code interpreter expired thing. I know it's kind of a pain in the ass, but you'll get it first, and it goes away. So let me go ahead and make sure we're starting. Okay, so this is last week. I get 3 reports on Monday, 4 on Thursday about 3 o'clock before our Thursday Zoom. I get 3 on Saturday using 10 of my agents. So like I said, 50 markets, 6,513 zip codes. This is in the last 48 hours last week. So you guys can tell me, it's kind of telling me what it's got for volume nationally in the last eviction filings, foreclosure notices, probate filings, tax liens, vacancy overbid. So if you guys got any questions, let me know. Well, let me make sure you guys can see it. I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget to do that. Always remind me because sometimes I get going. So you guys can see this is the report that I was just showing you guys.
Okay, quick question.
Yeah.
What was it like? You said 40 agencies for chat a month. What was it? 40
agents. So those
agents.
are just
Like, what is an agent
yeah.
exactly? Like a command or?
No, yeah, they're already in the system, and I'll show you that you can deploy that from and keep in mind, everybody, that you guys are seeing like an orange outline of my prompt bar. You guys don't have that because I'm in developer mode, but it doesn't affect. There's no other difference really. I'm in developer mode, and then I have a workspace. But I'll show that in a minute where you deploy your agents. Your agents are going out to do tasks like, and I'll show you. Give me like 1 minute to finish this.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. It's nothing else you have to pay GPT for. It's already exists. And you keep in mind that there's agent mode and there's different things like we have agent mode as well in RCIC that I built, which is for Agent mode and our thing, which you can find through those the mode switch when you first get into the RCIC core screen. That is for real estate agents. So don't confuse that with agent mode from GPT. But you guys can see this. It's going to start telling me what's going on in these high activity zip codes. So it's already looking every week. It's going through and scanning these markets, these 50 I put in there. So if you're working certain areas like Michigan, or if you're working Texas, you got 5 or 6 different, markets and maybe 10, 12 zip codes. It'll monitor and tell you what's going on there. It kind of gives you an idea maybe to go, and this way you guys can automate it, but you can also go manually. Most of the work is going to be done in the first 30 days. After that, it'll tell you it's going to be 5 to 10 minutes every day for you to go check in. A lot of times you can get your email just sent to you, and it'll tell you, hey, go click on this. It'll open the chat, tell you what's going on. Then you can spend 10, 15 minutes working those. You set it up any way you want. You can get them sent to your Gmail. You can do it manually. We can automate it. More basically starts.
You can take it all the way to the closing signature if you wanted to.
Yeah. And with RCICsystems.com, you can actually just even copy and paste all this, either there, or what you do is save it to PDF, then go over there and enter it there. It's insane what that does once you've done it here. Here's a key, and I'll throw this out there before I finish this, and I'll get to your question, James, on agents. So when you put anything you put from GPT from here, and you take it over to Anthropic to Claude, it has no problem. It builds some incredible stuff. Do not do that in the reverse order, because you mentioned put anything that it can detect as Anthropic or Claude. You might as well expect your laptop to start smoking, because it literally throws stuff back, like it wants to fix things. Whereas Claude, it's like, man.
Yeah. This is a public service announcement that Nate's making here.
Yeah. No, it doesn't get that bad, but it's giving me some pushback.
Bad enough, though. Yeah, your electric bill might quintuple when you're all said and done there.
So it tells
Talk
you
about needing data centers. Oh my gosh!
Here's some zip level hotspots. These are zip codes, and then you guys can start plugging this in. So you come in here and maybe 33142 Miami, and you want to go, and maybe now you want to just go to your prompt bar and set up a project and start having it monitor these zip codes. If you're doing like national, if you're not, because you can dial in if you're just doing a specific markets, and that's all you're going to do. But if you want to broaden it when you're in the first 30 to 45 days, this is where you can start setting it up and ask me if you need help, because I can save my report, send it to you, and you can just, basically enter the PDF and have it read it and have it start processing what you want to work on. So this is telling you guys Polk County, Iowa. These are the notable new cases. This is last week. This is filed. So here you get the address, you get the case, you get the foreclosure auction schedule. So there's the off ramp we talk about. The on ramp is always just back to your GPT icon. That's the off ramp. Here's multiple defendants listed. Here's Marco Garcia Carrera. Here's all of his information. Des Moines, Iowa. So these two are in Iowa. There's a couple of them. Mason Road. There's Jefferson Street. There's Burling 6th Street. Here's all the public information. So now you get to the top 10 fastest moving micro markets. So here you might just copy and paste these, just run your mouse over, go over and set up a project, and then have it start monitoring what you're looking for in these markets. If you're national, or if you're in certain areas, I know a lot of you guys in Michigan are close to Chicago or somewhere like that. You guys can start plugging it in. Cleveland is a good area. Atlanta, things like that. You can just start copy and pasting and set up the project and have it start generating information for you, intelligence. Here's your top 25 actionable opportunities. It's got the addresses. You can copy and paste these, or you can put them. You can go ahead and just copy and paste them and put them all into the project and have it start running them all. And it'll start generating. You could have it run. You can have it run the property, get the property information on the distress signal. Then you can have it pull comps, and you can have it start pulling all the information together. Choose it's 25. Choose the top 5, or choose all 25. Help you build a profile, get it ready for outreach for dialers and SMS and all that. And I'll tell you tomorrow night what I'm starting to work on now that RCIC Systems is built. It'll take me about 2 weeks, and then I've got another third thing that I'm building. So by Memorial Day weekend, you guys will have RCIC systems and then 2 other complete systems that are just like it, that are completely different functions, because I can't put it all together. There's just too much stuff. So you guys get out to this, it actually tells you what's going on with that. Okay. Now back.
They didn't even bother to cover trying to liquidate anything that you acquire, fix, and all that kind of business either here. So
Yeah, we're really just scratching the surface, and you guys can see already what you can do, and it's unlimited. If you guys think about it, you can do it. And keep in mind, you guys all know this by now, that I'm pretty much active 8 o'clock my time to about noon, 7 days a week. You guys hit me up on Messenger if you guys got any kind of, just copy and paste it like just this. You come in here and just copy and paste this, and then just click on our mouse and send it to me on Messenger and say, here it's telling me this. And literally, I'll get you an answer in like a minute or two. Unless I'm driving or something, I can fix it if there's a problem. But generally, if you want to build something, we can do that too. We can build it, and I can build stuff. We'll start in GPT, and I can take it to Claude, and we can start building apps now for you guys that are individual. So that way, you have an individual app that's specific for what you're doing for your business, your markets, and all that. But let me show you guys on agents real quick. Let me just do this real quick. Let me go ahead and watch this real quick. Like this, everybody. So I'll go to copy this. So remember, this is where you deploy agents. So I want to go down to more. I want to go to agent mode. You know your agent mode because it's going to say agent in blue here, and it's going to have the X. If you want to get out of agent mode, you got to click that X. So you always want to tell the agent what it is. You are a distress, make it up. I call it distress intelligence scout. Scout. Can you monitor the markets, the micro markets? I will be adding here and advise on a continual basis. Can you notify my email of record for this account? So you always want to tell it what it is, what its job is, and what the result, where you want it, what the output you want, and where the output goes. And so then I'm just going to copy and paste when I just deployed an agent. It's for you, James. There's an agent. So it's going to deploy this agent.
Okay.
That's all you do. You tell it, and there's a guide, there's a PDF in the files tab in the RCIC Facebook group that it goes through prompts. You guys can get it. And once you get into prompt engineering, and you can get, even if there's a guy that actually is really good at it too, and he has a friend that does real estate, but he's really good because he actually makes his own prompt. If you guys want to let me know, Amanda actually told me about it. So I started following the guy. His name is Jonathan Mast. He has a really long, like Santa Claus would be jealous of his beard. That's how long it is. The guy's really cool. He has a Facebook group. It's got a ridiculous amount of people in there. He actually develops all the AI, everything himself. Because there's some AI people out there, the gurus and stuff, that actually go, because I looked into it, they actually go and buy it. And they basically, that's why you see a lot of them come up with the same, hey, you can be like JP Morgan now, and there's 7 prompts to set up your trading. You get down to the 7th prompt and they want you to, pay for that the last prompt. Yeah. So it's kind of, he doesn't do that. He does have some sessions and stuff and all that, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, on that prompt, deploy the agent for that request.
Is there a way to get more agents if I run out in a month? And no, not
I
really.
haven't found it yet, because imagine that
Okay.
I've been trying to, as Kevin can tell you, I've been trying to figure out how to get 6,513 zip codes. And what it's able to do is get those 50 markets. I'm at least able to monitor those markets. If you really start running where you need, I honestly think if you guys do a lot of your development, you build your own over here, and you work with on the website, on the RCIC systems, you can put a lot of that information in there, because there's also tools there if you guys look at that highway, that 7 steps. But I think honestly, if you guys get to that point where you guys start needing more agents, let me know, and I can jump in and help you guys out a little bit too. I do have.
And the thing of it is, once you get this thing dialed in, do you really know that you're going to need that many agents?
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Because
Yeah,
it's going to end up cleaning its own act up to the point where it's focused and laser focused, where all you're doing with an agent, it's a repetitive process. So if you're bringing in an agent, it's a completely new thing that you're getting ready to do. That's what it's going to get down to. So in the
okay.
beginning, you might need it, but you got to figure 40 days or 30 days is a month, and you get 40 of them a month. Right?
Yeah, got it.
So,
I just, yeah, because I'm still confused on what exactly constitutes an agent. Is it like a command or,
yeah, it's
you
like
know,
a command.
okay, got it. That's fine.
And so those ones you can type also don't be. There's also a new feature, and I haven't played it a lot myself, and it is actually available too in the GPT, and it's in the sidebar. And there's another thing that's called agents, and you can get access to it, and it actually is like really. I mean, it's like one that's called chief of staff. It's pretty thorough. I have not gone in too much into it because I would like be there for a while. I mean, there's like rabbit holes, and it's in the sidebar. As soon as I'm done with this, as soon as I'm done with this agent, I'll pull it up and show you guys at least where it's at, and then you guys can research it. But it's more formally set up by OpenAI for you guys to have more agents, and it defines them, and actually, it's pretty cool that way. These are agents, like I said, you deploy them through that plus through your, and you tell it, you tell it what it is, what its job is, what you want it to do, what the output is, what the return is, and where you want it sent. That's kind of the structure of it, and you can deploy it like 40 times. It came back and said that it couldn't do what I asked, but I know it can, so I just have to go back and tweak it because that's what those reports are like long term. Where this said it couldn't do it, even so you guys have seen me already getting those. So I'll tweak that for you, and I'll get a prompt for that, so you guys can do long term deployments. Where it basically just is working all the time. Here you guys see it. It could take a couple minutes. You guys will always see this sometimes if you're in search. If it's searching, you guys. Sometimes it's cool because it's like entertaining because it'll actually argue with itself, and you can actually see it on screen. It says, "I'm going to do it." Oh no, you can't do that. Like it will argue with itself. It'll start pulling up things like I need to add this, I need to do this. It'll talk to itself right on the. You'll see the words flash over the screen. So it's pretty transparent, pretty cool. So it's taken a minute to pull up all those markets that I just put in those actionable markets. So you guys can see this is what it's doing. It's pulling up Adam data as the foreclosure market data. And it's pulling in all that information. Pretty cool stuff. And it's doing a deep dive on Adam. And Adam's pretty expensive to get information from. But I've been able to kind of cue it into getting information. Like, it told me there was 38,000 foreclosure filings last month nationally. Those are the initial, they're not all going to be foreclosed on, obviously, but and then it does have access to now. You'll see sometimes it can't go through paywalls. Sometimes you guys got to also remember there is some manual stuff. If you guys ever are on these AHJs, these counties, or these other sites, you still have to go through and, do a little click on the human or maybe a captcha. It won't just go through those. So some things it'll flag when it hits a wall.
Presence.
Any captchas will show up in that screen. You can just click it yourself.
Yeah.
Is that what you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it'll pop up and you'll see it. So here you guys go. It goes back to the report. So here's a one-off. It's giving me the Adam data, and I can print a PDF and show you guys this. This shows 118,727 properties with a foreclosure filing in Q1 2026. So January, February, March, 118,727 properties with foreclosure filings, up 6% from the previous quarter. So that's amazing when it comes up from fourth quarter 2020.
That's just cranked on everything, all those markets you stuffed in there.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
If you're wondering where the federal government gets all their numbers, their quarterly numbers, their monthly numbers, all this economic data from, you're staring at it. But you're getting it in real time. You know what's going on live. They're waiting about 2 to 3, 4 weeks to publish the stupid stuff, and all the Wall Street people go bananas. You've seen the stuff, right? This is where how they get their information for those reports. So you actually have a live access to this information as it's generated, whereas they're waiting however long to put it all together, and all the investors are reacting to the news. You're out here actually driving the market. You're right there on the driver's seat behind all this stuff. And that's what makes this so different. And then you have your agents going in there, plucking the best fruit from the tree, and taking you to the point where you just basically DocuSign or do an online close, and there you go. You got the asset. Then you figure out how to fix the asset or dispose of the asset, and it does the best way to do that too. So you basically have a automated turnkey hobby that's going to take, maybe an hour a day if you're lucky, to do 10, 15 years worth of stuff in 30 days or less. It's basically how this thing is. And then it gets better every month. Think about that for a second.
So see over here on the left side of the sidebar, there's apps and agents. Show you apps first. Apps, and you got featured lifestyle. So you guys go in here and you can connect this Gmail that I was talking about. I'm using GitHub as part of the system that's hosting RCIC systems along with Netlify, which is also in here. But you guys also have all the Google stuff. You have Outlook. It gets down. You got Teams. You got Zoho is one that a lot of people like. But all the Adobe stuff is here. Here's a voice generator if you guys want to ever make voiceovers. I mentioned Airtable. You guys get into some. We've done a couple more. These are a lot of the name brands. You guys are going to recognize a lot of these. Canva. You guys get into. Let me show you guys a few just highlights. You want to use Dropbox is one that I've mentioned.
Yeah. And then DocuSign fits in there.
Yeah. So you guys get in there. You guys get into GoDaddy for websites. It also has Namecheap, which I use. And Network Solutions is in there. Here's Go High Level. You got most of you guys that know about that. Indeed you do, for hiring. Intuit, you guys getting down into, it's pretty cool. LegalZoom, you guys get into all kinds of stuff down here. Lovable is build apps and websites. It's a new one. It's pretty cool. I haven't played with McAfee. So you guys can tell that there's Netlify, there's Norton. You guys get down here Python if you guys want to really ever get into some form of coding. You guys get into all kinds of stuff. Shopify. I don't know why people need Uber and Uber Eats and they're connected up to their AI, but it's available. So that's apps. If you guys go to agents, this is a new feature, and that's why it says new. OpenAI just came out with this. So you guys, these are agents that you can deploy, and it's a more formal process. Keep in mind those agents that I just showed you are the ones you want to use for RCIC, but here you guys can go in and you can actually recently use, you can go in and you can create an agent. There's also a team directory. So it's kind of cool. You guys can go in and it's got all kinds of, you can build a Slack agent. You can set up all kinds of stuff. Let's say there's a workspace recently used, create an agent. It'll tell you how to create an agent. So you can go through and do, there's chief of staff, data analyst, sales assistant. There's all kinds of different things you guys can go and get a template. What do you want to do? Morning planner. You want to do triage on, any bugs, or you're doing any kind of coding. If you want to do any kind of messaging, things like that, that's in there. It's pretty cool. Let's see if I get through. There's a team director and all that. So you guys can go and build more apps and stuff. It's kind of cool that way. It gives all kinds of stuff, knowledge search, data analyst. I have not played with this yet, but I'm going to, and I'll give you guys some feedback on it. Real quick to show you guys on GPTs. What I really want to do is get everybody to the point where you guys are so, 30 to 45 days. Most everything in the group should be good by Memorial Day weekend. This is the GPTs, obviously, guys, and we run, you guys go to the GPT store as well. These are all built by somebody. I've got a couple of these in the GPT store, which means I'm not getting paid on these, some free things to promote RCIC, but they've also got a lot of stuff like Canva. A lot of these are built by OpenAI themselves. But you guys can get in here, and there's a lot of GPTs. You guys can start, using education stuff. There's even one for medical students. I was kind of surprised. I don't really want to get my medical advice from AI, but it's probably going to go that way. So I go on my GPTs, And obviously I'll show you guys how these are structured. And obviously you guys get the rehab scope engine, engage, exchange. Those are the other six. There's a total of seven. We're on core right now. I want you guys really to focus on core for probably your first 60 to 90 days. Get familiar with it, and then you start adding in. The next one most everybody will need is engage, which is like all your outreach, all your communications. Then you got rehab scope of work, self-explanatory, capital passport. The other three you really don't need right away, but if you want to get them, you can. They're all yours, and you can get them out of the off the Facebook group. So you guys see the RCIC core where you guys first come on. I already showed that to you guys. This is where that is. You guys see these are conversation starters. So all these match those. You can actually do 10 when you guys do your own GPT. You can do 10, but it only lets you put 4 on the screen. So the 4 priority have to be at the top. Like I said, I'm probably going to replace start here with something else. When you do a GPT of your own, they want an icon, the name, a description under 300 characters, and then you got 8,500 characters or less for the instructions. And when you guys get down in here, you guys, this is the knowledge. These are 20 slots for PDFs, Word docs, Excels. This is what powers a lot of the intelligence that's powering RCIC. And then you guys get into it, what model it is. We're on 5.5. That's another thing, guys. They just came out with 5.5. So check your system to make sure you're using 5.5. Sometimes you just got to make sure I'm always going to recommend keeping with the current. And you guys know when they updated it, it can come out like Wednesday and you might get it like Saturday morning. It comes in your system. OpenAI is constantly working on new. I think they're even working on 6 now. I've heard that in some groups. So it's kind of what the recommended model is. So when you guys are ready to do a GPT, you can actually, like I said, what I'll do is I update it no matter what when I leave it, but that way it's updated. And then, so here's anyone with a link, and then I got the copy of the link, and then it's got the GPT. And so when you go on here, basically as anyone with a link, you can make it private. Like you guys have it with that bit.ly link and all that. What I gave you guys, it's private. So I have to give everybody the link. If you guys ever want to, you can do like 2 GPTs, put one in the GPT store for public, and then you have a private one that just you can invite people that you do business with to work with you on your GPT. That's how you do it. So that's how GPT is set up. And GPT comes in handy if you really want to just have you just want to build your whole business around it. You got all the PDFs, load it up with all the intelligence, give it directions, tell it what you want it to do. It's like your BuyBox, it markets everything on steroids. It just increases everything more powerful. Okay, so tomorrow night we're going to go over RCIC systems and we're going to do a commercial deal. I'm going to show you guys actually how to process a commercial deal. That's pretty cool. So like I said, we're going to do that tomorrow night. I'll try to pick one tomorrow and then we'll run it and we'll show you guys how to do how it kind of deciphers a commercial deal versus and keep
Do
in mind
like a 20
any
plus unit, something like that, multifamily, some 20 plus unit just something like that, right?
Yeah, and I mean I just might pull it off. I have some Kevin can tell you, we've looked at a lot of stuff in the last 7 years. I have a lot of stuff. Yeah. I could really go really big and go in a blue sky, but we'd be here for a couple hours.
Yeah,
we're gonna
I
go
don't mind, but yeah.
Yeah, we want
I was just at City Hall today, and it was like flashbacks. And if these people knew me, and they were having flashbacks, and it was kind of an interesting little interaction. I'll be there Tuesday again, so kind of waking things up over here now. They've been asleep for a while, so we're going to start this all up again over here too with the whole community development projects.
Yeah, Kevin gets into some pretty interesting stuff. So like I was saying earlier tonight, guys, we talked about this is a little bit of the tomorrow night we're going to be going over the highway, a little bit of you guys probably have seen this, the highway field guide. Obviously it makes all my it's pretty cool. So I'll run through this real quick right now just to kind of give you guys a heads up. We'll be going more into this tomorrow night, but RCICsystems.com, it's 7 steps. And so there's a one tool, there's a county records, like we're talking about AHJs. There's another for, everybody needs another for tools. Everybody needs another for skip tracing, spreadsheet for buyers, notes app, random letter list. This is how people do things. And you guys get into here. Now you got 7 off ramps, AHJ intelligence, start at the source, county records, courts, government offices, primary and public data. The goal is to find distressed opportunities before they're recycled. Then you got deal analyst, ARV, comps, market reality, and decision memo. So you're avoiding fantasy underwriting. with RCIC systems. Buyers and sellers, you can build your buyer list and your seller pipeline in one operating flow. Add your seller leads. This is on the RCICsystems.com. And after tomorrow night, we'll give you guys all your codes to go set up your access. Everybody has lifetime access, and you have your own code. So
yeah, we're having a meeting right after this one to set all that up. So we'll have hopefully that done within the next day or so. And you should get an email or contact from one of the three of us or Nate telling you that it's been
we'll
done.
have the procedure tomorrow night. We'll tell you exactly how to do it, but everybody should be able to have it set up by the end of the weekend.
Yep.
And then you got skip tracing. And these are like off ramps, like stops on a highway. And you guys, instead of going to hotels and gas stations and restaurants and the world's largest ball of twine or whatever, the little tourist traps. These 7 steps are your 7. These are where you go to get your deals done. Skip tracing, rehab scope of work, capital passport, and then you get into the transaction coordination. And so it's kind of cool. That's RCICsystems.com. It's got everything. You can use it as, all your tools are there. And you guys, like I said, the good thing is you don't have to worry about. I was thinking that there's a chance that people would have to get a selective subscription, another $20 a month. Don't have to do that. Unless you guys want to get Claude or something, then I can show you guys how to build something in Claude, but that's up to you. It's nothing to do with RCIC systems. You guys can get that. We're going to be building 2 systems. I'm building right now. I just started working on one that'll have it'll be for SMS texting, for emails, and for calling, because you guys know there's a lot of stuff with do not call registries. Having your own system where you can plug all your information and it can do everything compliant, have all the guardrails. I'm doing all of that in the next 2 weeks done. And then after that, I'm doing doc on the demand. You guys might have seen me posting about that. You guys can imagine what I've already put 12,000 documents into this to train this and to train the RCI systems. Now we're going to take that and we're going to make a library where you guys can just go in. You can either get a pre-set up document if you need an addendum, you need a contract, an LOI, or it actually can help you generate one from scratch. So you guys can go in and there'll be over probably around 250 things you can go in there and generate. A doc, it's called doc on demand, and it'll be a separate thing. You guys have access to this. We'll have a separate access codes. So you want to have somewhere you write down all your codes, and then it'll be out to the public. And we also have 15 standalone apps that work offline, but when they connect to RCI systems, they become super powerful. Like there's a couple for storage, so you can get into the different asset classes. Because you guys think about what we can build. I can't put it all in one system. There's no way to do it. It gets too robust. RCIC core, this and the GPT is pretty much unlimited. But in order to do what I did there, I had to kind of narrow it down to the 7 off ramps. So we do have 15 other apps, and I'll put those in a place where you guys can you don't even need to you can go in there and just download what you need, and you don't need it, and those will be available to you guys as well. And if you guys want custom apps, I'm gonna try to build one for anybody that wants one. You just gotta kind of give me I gotta hey, it'll take me a couple of days to get it done for you. We'll do a one-on-one.
If you know anybody that you think might be interested in getting into this, one of the things that we have is at the $100 level. The thing of it is, they could go ahead and just build a custom app for you if you brought somebody in under that circumstances. That's the other thing, that's if you don't have time or if you really wanted to get something done, he can do that too. So there's a lot of other options that are going to come in probably within the next month to add on top of this. And then I'm going to hopefully have all this whole community development stuff documented in a way that we can throw it in the system too, so you have access to that. And if you're in a situation where people don't know what's going on or know what they're doing in the community you're trying to get into, you could take a lead position in community development and actually come up with another way of making some income off of that, basically doing consulting work. There's other avenues that this thing can do that you could do along this, along with the real estate part of it. Anything that basically has anything to do with real estate industry as a whole, you're going to have access to it in one way or another. And that's basically how this is where it gets to. So there's a lot of lucrative stuff that is just under the surface here that's going to come up once this is released. And everybody that's involved in this is in a lead position to do something with it. So by Monday, you guys should get an email or a text letting you know that you're set to go. And then you're going to want to get with Nate to go over everything, make sure everything, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed on the login information and all that kind of stuff. And then you guys will be off because we've got to get this done first before it's open to anybody else. So that's what we're working on this weekend. Jesse and me and all three of us are going to be doing all this populating of the base, I guess.
You guys have probably never seen before, but I want you to tell everybody that's seen it is like this thing blows people's minds away, and it will yours. Keep in mind, it's not like because you guys see some people popping up with like it looks visual and it's like it looks like you got like the Pentagon's war room in front of you. It's not that. But it's very much a workstation. It's very much a battle station, but it's not a. You're not going to go in and be like. There's not really much entertainment value, but that's not what most of you. I built it because of getting to know everybody. And keep in mind that you guys are in the Facebook group, the Associates 197 people. We started putting that together in 2020 with 13 people. We still have 9, so we kind of learned what people respond to because I'm seeing this and I say that I'm in a lot of groups and where you guys meet me all these groups, but it's like I see a lot of times these people are coming out now and they're like I built a platform and you guys probably see it now. I built something and it's like I've seen like it's talking about Jonathan Master, like everybody wants to get in that group. That's the only real AI group. I'm in a Claude one, I'm in GPT one, just because I'm trying to learn the technical stuff. They don't have anything in real estate, but you guys are interested in AI as well. Jonathan is probably one of the best Facebook groups for AI. And there's a lot of people, a lot of these gurus, just like real estate gurus, they were telling people, here's 100 ways to make money with AI. And fortunately, five of the items on one list were all dealing with their perception that real estate investors are like an ATM. So they're like, go build a deal analyzer. So I see a lot of people popping up now and they're trying to do this and they don't have. You guys are fortunate. I mean, and I can tell you right now, Kevin can tell you this, Jesse can tell you this. Anybody that's been around us for a couple of years or more, nobody has the library or the databases that we do that I've acquired, and they're not cheap to acquire. And they're not cheap to manage, to maintain. Well, 12,000 plus pages went into train this GPT system. And then that's trained the RCIC systems. But another 19,000 contacts, lending and funding contacts are in Capital Passport. It's made a list of 1,383 curated lenders and funders that are in Capital Passport and GPT on this RCIC core and the Capital Passport, but on the RCIC systems that I just built that we're talking about now, they're 2,200. These are curated, these are lenders and funders and all that stuff. Because that 19,000 has another 16, 17,000 family offices, hedge funds. A lot of them most of those don't do real estate, but we have a strategy on how to use LinkedIn to kind of help you build up your base for that. So you guys see it just made my thumbnail for YouTube real quick. I like to show you guys this because you guys can start using your GPT and stuff to start making all your visuals and all your set up your own Facebook page, your own Facebook group, and it can actually help you put meta tags and when you guys get around to Netlify, and I can show you all this stuff. You guys can build a website in Netlify and use GitHub like I with RCIC systems. Go out there and put an app. It's full and have it for your business. Use it to drive it inbound because you guys know if people come to you, there's a lot better chance you get to closing the deal. Sometimes I have to remind you real quick.
Nate, can we train this?
Yeah.
Have it watch YouTube videos, educational material, and just have it in train. Or is that more of like an open claw kind of thing?
Well, you guys can use the videos how you want there. I put them on YouTube on the public side. If we ever do a private one, you guys still have access to it. I put in the Facebook groups, but I don't put them. I make it unlisted on YouTube but I don't do that as many. I don't do that as many often as I used to. But yeah, you guys can use all the materials in the world. Once you guys are on board, it's like we consider you partners, and you guys can build off of it. You want to build your own system. You want to build it your way. Think about it like Burger King. Build it your way. And there's a point when I joke about it. Obviously, I get hit by a bus tomorrow. You guys are still good. You guys can build onto RCIC the way you want. I mean, literally build it your way in your ecosystem. You own it. That's why the only thing is, like I said, now we're going to, the RCIC systems as far as the people beside you guys that are subscribing. Like look at the website and look at the pricing. They don't get all this on the GPT side, so it's really limited. They have to get the lifetime plan there to get what you guys already have. So there will be fewer of those people that will be coming on board to this, what you guys are doing here. And you guys have the benefit of both worlds. We have to have a sustainable business, so we had to put a subscription program together. If we did, you know, like I said, if somebody didn't pay on this side, we give them the Bitly link or the ChatGPT link. We can't like remove people for non-payment. Whereas on a subscription, you know, I had most of this website done, RCI systems, like 2 weeks ago. But Kevin can tell you that I've been doing a lot of stuff with webhooks and all this stuff for the routing, you know, the payments and routing, all this stuff. And when people subscribe, they get access. You know how they get access and what they get access to if they subscribe.
It basically is taking us about 2 weeks to do all the
back end,
behind the scene back room business, where it's taken about, I don't know, 2-3 years to actually get to the point where you really understand what's going on with the computer end of things and the communications. And then you got another 4 or 5 years behind that, just trying to get the whole gist of the atmosphere behind what was going on in real estate and get out ahead of it. So this is kind of the way this has been developing. And now that we finally have the technical tools available, because they've never been available until now, like they are, it's all coming together in a nice, neat little bow. And then those of us that have been doing this longer, not that we know anymore, it's just we understand it better because this is the most complete system that's ever been put together out there, and not to mention up to date, and will always be up to date because everybody that's involved is putting their up to date stuff in there, and it's constantly updating itself. Okay, now that was a whole mouthful. Point being is you can't get any better than this. It's not possible.
So this is my documents. You
guys are getting in at the right time, not to mention the fact that you've already paid for what you have. You're getting the rest of it, plus a room to play in that makes it really grease the wheels. And that's the cool part. And this thing is going to change on its own within the next 30 to 45 days based on everybody's inputs. And it's going to get really nice to watch. It's going to be a very entertaining way of doing business. I mean,
you guys are seeing my documents right now, like all this PMAs, all this private money. This is
all that stuff is in there. I'm going to be putting all the stuff that I had was just 7 years prior to what he had in there. If we could just figure out how to get all that done.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have 15, 20 years worth of experience and watching the actual industry change during all that at high levels. Like I said earlier, all that information that the government comes out with and all these gurus come up with on the housing market is obtained through this. And you're watching it live and being able to pick it off live. Okay, that's the difference. Nobody else can do that. Nobody else is set up to do that. So, you know, it's amazing when you have that, when you have databases of information and people that you can get to, that you could talk to about different things in different places. There's nothing that you can't accomplish. And we're basically going to end up running the real estate industry as a whole within the next couple of years because of where we got in and what we've done. That's what's going on here.
You guys see there's blue sky.
Yeah. You know, we somebody could have made 250 grand in a week if they would have just had 250,000 in their pocket that they could have thrown out there just in the option on it. Because a week later, somebody walked up and was asking, you know, it was 250,000 to get the option. Could have got the option. Somebody else offered 500,000 to us a week later.
It was got jacked because of egos and then COVID.
And now they can't even put it up because I just found this out too, because they've changed the rules yet again. And with the way everything's going in Denver, it's not going to be feasible. It's not going to be feasible to do that. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, we put a lot of time and effort into it, and then a fund, and then COVID, and then we had some, you know, too many people.
Pretty much shot everything right there. That is the only thing you cannot put in here is that one element of unknown. But when you're getting over 90% accuracy, you're going to have that 1, 3, 5, 7, 9% inaccuracy, which is that element that's unknown go in here. So 9 times out of 10 or 90 out of 100 deals that you're doing, you're working away doing great. So in all essences, you're really not going to be able to lose using this in any way, shape, or form. And your time is absolutely perfectly, as you set it up, managed at this point doing this. It'll be the most efficiently managed real estate outfit that anybody can have. You guys are going to have by using this. Nobody else is going to be able to say that. And instantaneous. But yet after a month to 45 days, it's going to be unheard of. Okay, so just get ready for one hell of a ride. And then we're going to get with you by the end of the weekend with your credentials. And then you're going to get with Nate and check on and make sure everything works right. And then he'll certify that, because we have to get that done before we can open it up to anybody else. And if you do have anybody that you think might benefit from having this, get with Nate. The lowest is $100 a month. If that comes out, he said he'll go ahead and just build you an app. Okay. For doing that. Otherwise, there'll be a monetary remuneration and or a combination thereof for the $399 and the annual. And then we'll have to talk about what we're doing as far as the lifetimes. But that's basically the remuneration program that we're putting together. You guys are the only ones going to be able to do that either. If you're not in this weekend, that's not going to be available to anybody. They're going to have to do it another way. So you guys are going to have carte blanche for doing this. Or having done this, I guess. So just consider yourselves blessed. I'm blessed to be able to run with Nate on this because all the stuff he's come up with. But all I can say is congratulations on at least being able to stick it out. A lot of people didn't.
This is going back to 2017 and everything that we've done. And, we've done the trial and error and the ups and downs. And,
and I go all the way back to 2010.
Yeah, so this is just incredible, and I think it's unlimited, and you guys can build. Like I said, you're able to build on your GPT, and if you guys throw out suggestions for RCIC systems too, we'll take those into account and add them. It's now that I've got the back end figured out, like I said, about the last 2 weeks I've been doing that. It's actually fairly easy for me now to go and add something to it. Whereas over the weekend, I was kind of stressed a little bit. Kind of tell you, I was like, because there's a couple of times where it like suggested do something, or like you have to get through credits and stuff, and it's like, I got the subscription plan, and I have 1,000 credits for the month, and you have to go and upload it, and they call it deploys, and if it's a failed deploy because of something, like it's got to read the HTML, and it's you got to do a little bit of a few things. It walks you through it, but I burned through about 500 of those credits in like 3 days, and they're supposed to last a month. That was the trial and error. Now, obviously, now that I've got it down, it's never going to happen. I'll probably only use about 50 credits a month unless I'm just building a ton of apps, which I plan to do, and then I can up it. That's just at the $9 a month level, so it's no big deal. But like I said, guys, there's a lot. Now that I've got it down, I can build apps for you guys. You just gotta know if everybody hits me over one time, I'm not going to be able to do them all at one time. Probably could do like one a day, and try to get everybody a custom app for your business and your markets and what you're doing, and that way you can go out there and use it for outreach because it'll have all the meta tags. You guys just get a domain. You own the domain. You set up a Netlify. I just send it over to you, and I show you how to deploy it on your Netlify, or I can host it. If I host it, then it's it may. There's some ways to do it, but you guys would prefer to probably host it yourself if it's yours. So you just need like a domain, like I said, you need and then you need a free Netlify account. Everybody needs to go to a paid Netlify account. It's like $9 a month. So if you can host your app out there, you can use it any way you want to help your business. And it's just the way to do it now. It's just better. So anyway, I appreciate everybody's time tonight. If anybody has any questions, I'll be live again at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. We'll start at 5 o'clock tomorrow. We'll do that commercial deal first, and then we'll do RCIC systems. We'll go over what we've come up with as the recommended path for everybody getting on board. Keep in mind, you guys have it, so take advantage of it. Because we built it for you. You guys have already paid for it, so I just want to make sure we get 150, 200, 250 people on there. We built 250 spaces. That includes the 4 of us after myself, Kevin, Jesse, and Paul, who's our CFO. We'll all have it. We'll be a part of that 250. So take advantage of it. Like I said, try it out. You guys will like it. Just remember, it's not anything like you've seen before. So just kind of, get in there and start going through the steps. We'll talk about more tomorrow night, the 7 steps that are in there. And then it's phenomenal. I'm just really happy with it. So I appreciate everybody's time tonight. I'll have tonight's video available tomorrow, and I'll post it in the Facebook groups. And if anybody has any questions, hit me up in the morning. Otherwise, I'll see you guys at 5 p.m. Denver time tomorrow.
Wait, Nate, real quick. Tomorrow, you doing the morning Zoom? Is that what you said?
No, we're doing tomorrow night. We always do
Tomorrow night. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Morning is
Same
just
time.
for.
morning's the tweaks. Like if you have
Gotcha.
questions, just send it to me on Messenger. That's when I'm
Okay,
available
that's
for like 4 hours or something. I can fix things on the spot. We're always doing Zooms at the same time. We've been doing the 5 p.m.s on Wednesdays and Thursdays for 5 years. They just, sometimes we'll do a 5 p.m. Mountain, and we'll keep in mind that if we do one-on-ones, I'd usually do them like in the afternoons when I'm back, because I work a lot mobile in the morning. Go get my coffee and I work on Wi-Fi and stuff. That's usually, for me, it's easier. And then I get home and I can do phone calls and I can do one-on-ones. And if you guys anybody wants a one-on-one, let me know. It's just I try to schedule them. Sometimes I even try to schedule 2 or 3 people on them because I can do a smaller group. But yeah, if you guys want a one-on-one, we can actually work on your business specifically.
Okay. And you said you're letting.
Yeah, we build an app for you. I want to do a one-on-one with everybody when I build the app. Actually, I'll probably be able to build an app live with somebody. Build their while we're on Zoom, while I'm on Claude, I could build an app for them live, and then give you guys an app for your business. All right, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Got any questions?
All right. Good night, guys. Good night.
Yeah. Thanks.
Take care.